There has never been a time in my life ever, other than when I was in church leadership, where I felt like I had to be friends with somebody just because I was coworkers with them. And I mean, I have had jobs before where I was friends with my coworkers because I wanted to be, but my boss was never like, you need to go get coffee with your shift leader because you guys need to get along or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And even when there was like workplace disputes or people didn't quite get along or they had tiffs, you know, at work, the manager would deal with it, you know, but they wouldn't try to make them become best friends. And I feel like, at least at the church that we went to, and I feel like it's pretty common in churches because you're supposed to like love your fellow brother and sister. They would pretty much force you to hang out with people that you wouldn't normally hang out with. And I mean, if we're all like on a leadership retreat or something and staying in like this huge house and we're all hanging out together, that's one thing. But like, I'm not going to become BFFs with every single girl on the leadership team because that's just like super unrealistic. And it always felt like really awkward to me. And I feel like that's where a lot of inauthenticity, is that a word?
I think so. I get what you mean.
I feel like that's where a lot of that stemmed from. So I was like, okay, I like you as a person. There's nothing wrong with you, but you're kind of annoying. I don't want to hang out with you all of the time. You know, I don't want to be your friend really outside of being coworkers with you. And I don't feel like that's a bad thing. That's 100% normal in any other job scenario ever.
Yeah, there were definitely people I mean, it's like, you know, it's kind of like family, I guess, in some ways, where in church you believe that you're God's family and you're all his children. And so you have to love people from a distance sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I think that makes sense. I mean, I kind of wish the world was like that, more like that, actually, because I was thinking today, the way people behave in traffic, for example, it's really similar.
You?
That is probably very loud.
Sorry.
Wow. I think we need to wear the headphones. That you just like straight belted into that microphone.
I always take down the volume on my laughs because they're always very loud.
Okay, sorry. I was thinking about how people behave in traffic and stuff. You know, it's like you're not even really yourself, or maybe you are really yourself, but like way more hostile, you know, way more likely to just lash out or something. It's like, you know, Facebook and stuff is like the comment section is the new traffic, the new road rage.
It really is.
Because you don't have to see this person again. Mm-hmm. They can't sock you for your dumb shit that you have to say. You know, like it's like social media is like the new road rage. Imagine if people were just way more caring. I don't know. Don't really know where I'm going with that thought, but.
Well, I do feel like they're in contrast to kind of what I was saying. I did appreciate how they do say like, love your brother and sister in Christ or whatever. And so you're supposed to try to look for the good in everybody. And I feel like that's definitely something we need more of in the world completely.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I have to be your best friend, though, or agree with everything that you do. And I feel like we can agree to disagree and still have like a mutual respect for each other without it turning into a big ol' thing.
So what you're talking about is not normal. People basically don't walk around just befriending people they don't want to hang out with.
Right.
You just avoid those people.
Exactly.
So how do you have church as a normal person, right?
Right.
Well, also, I feel like churches don't even play nice amongst each other, like other churches versus, you know, separate, you know, as separate entities. You know, you have Church A and Church B, and they both want to grow in the same community.
Right.
And they don't play nice.
Right.
Some do, maybe. I don't know, but like, I feel like I see a lot of like church knocking, where it's like,
Well, they do this. We would never do that. We would never do that.
Well, the church we were at was much more like forthright with their thoughts on other churches. But I feel like other churches, maybe like in the Bible Belt, they're just kind of like passive aggressive about it. So they make it sound like it's a compliment or something, like,
oh, bless her heart.
right. Like, I grew up in John Johnson's church, and man, he just was such a man of God. But when I got to a certain point, I decided I felt like God gave me a different vision. And we wanted to have music that everyone could appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
So
not
basically,
just your grandma.
old John Johnson's music sucked ass, and you just don't want to say it.
Right.
It's like, can we just get past the politics, right?
Yeah.
But like, I mean, my thought on that is like, how are people from the outside supposed to get on board with that? I mean, it's not like you're hiding anything.
Right.
People walk in and they can see, like, there's so much competition and stuff between different, denominations, and it doesn't conduct friendship well, real friendship. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we're trying to win these people that are on the outside, that are not saved, but y'all don't look that great.
That's really interesting about the denomination thing too, because like there's some denominations that are like, we literally believe just this one thing that you don't believe, and so now we're a whole new denomination.
Yeah.
Like, some people believe in tongues and some people don't, and that separates like now those people are completely different denominations. And it's like, why can't we all just, everyone believes the same fundamentals. That's why it's Christian denominations, because everyone believes in Jesus.
Well, within Christianity, obviously, there's like
right.
other.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, why can't we just agree to disagree? Like, I feel like I hear from God by going on walks in nature, and you feel like you hear from God, when you read your Bible and you hear a booming voice. And just because I don't hear that myself doesn't mean that now we have to be completely two separate things. Maybe God created us all differently and talks to us all a little bit differently.
Well, nobody's hearing a booming voice unless they're on something. Let's just be honest. I mean, that's a bald-faced lie.
I'm just saying what people have said.
Is it bald-faced or bold-faced? Bold-faced lie?
I think it's bold-faced. I don't think it's bald.
Oh, yeah, because then I'd be lying all the time. Friendships in church, they have that phenomenon that I was talking about before. That it's like, you can't just be friends at church.
Right.
Because you met at church, you met through church, and now you're friends. At least a lot of times, not all the time, but like now your friendship has to have some kind of intention behind it to like advance the gospel or to build the church.
Too. And that's so interesting, because when you and I started hanging out with our other friend, all three of us together, it was like finally like two people I can hang out with where I can just 100% be myself. I don't feel like I have to win you guys. I have zero purpose for meeting with you other than to just relax and be myself and drink some wine and make fun of polar bears.
Well, even then, it's like when you're deep in it, that you want to have that like full like friendship, but it's still like, are they gonna culture check me? Well, for me, my experience, it was still, there was nobody that I felt that I didn't have to doctor my behavior around.
I would say you two were the only people I didn't feel like I had to do that around, ever.
Well, I find it hard to believe that nobody.
I mean, everyone does that to an extent, depending on who they're hanging out with.
Right.
But I mean, I didn't feel like I couldn't cuss, or I couldn't say, "Hey, do you guys ever feel like you want to run away,
right,
and go on a vacation for like 2 months and then come back
Yeah.
without you guys being like, well, we're serving the Lord here and blah, blah, blah.
Right. Yeah.
So more in line with what I felt like my true self was.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess, well, my whole thought on church friendships, I guess, is more so like, do church friendships look as good as you think they look?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they did, I think a lot more people outside of church would want to join in.
Mm.
But it's political and divisive, I guess. It is divisive.
Mm-hmm.
And churches don't play well together. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
They just don't. If they can't play well together, they don't play at all.
Right.
And that's not really like godly.
It's interesting though, because I feel like at least the church that we were at, which I feel like is pretty common, they would want to play well with the big dogs, with the guys that could get them in the doors to growth.
Well, that's a whole nother thing. That's church business.
Yes. But it's like trying to impress the popular kids, and like, it's like, you know, you're in drama club and a popular kid walks by and you like him, and so you're trying to diss all your drama club friends to impress the popular kids, and they're like, what the heck, dude?
Well, that's good practice when you're doing business. You want to be selfish. You're trying to grow something
Mm-hmm.
and make a financial gain from it,
Right.
which that's not the case with the gospel, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think my conclusion is that I love people a lot and we all suck. I really do love everyone, but we all suck. I got shit to say about you and me.
That is true.
Thank you for checking out the Church Podcast. Please like and subscribe to our channel. To support the channel, go to patreon.com/The Church Podcast. If you have any information or an idea that could improve the Church Podcast, please leave a comment or leave a private message through our social accounts. Take care.